Did you hang out at Mr. Dow's house when you were a child?
No.
Okay, has he paid you to be here today?
No.
Do you have any, how did you come to get involved in this case?
I heard a podcast called Gangster Chronicles in which Mr. Dow stated that a lot of foul play had happened during his trial. I heard another interview, then another interview, then another interview. And Mr. Dow was consistent throughout the interviews that certain things that happened during his trial were unconstitutional, specifically that he was denied his speedy trial rights, specifically that his attorney testified against him, specifically that they put a witness on the stand named Antoine Mouton who he hadn't seen a day in his life. Being that I'm an attorney who understands that these are big legal issues, I decided to look into it.
And besides knowing Mr. Dow, why else did you look into this?
That's my job as a prosecutor. When there's injustice possibly lurking, I took an oath to investigate it and try to fix it.
But I'm also talking specifically into Mr. Mouton. What can you describe for the court why?
Sure. So I reviewed all of Mr. Mouton's testimonies, which were 2 times he testified under oath. One in 2007, and then one in 2008 at trial. Upon review of his trial testimony, he stated that he was from the Fillmore district. I knew that to be a lie because I don't know Mr. Mouton. I've never seen him before. He's not from that neighborhood. Knowing that that was a lie, I continued to investigate. Upon review of the second transcript, I noticed that in 2007, when he testified, Mr. Mouton spelled his name one way. And in 2008, when he testified, he spelled it differently. I then, during the course of my investigation, received his San Francisco booking photos, which showed that as of 1999, his name was Cantrell. Received his FBI rap sheet, which showed that his name was Antoine Cantrell. Received his California rap sheet, which showed that his name was Antoine Cantrell. Received his Nevada rap sheet, which shows that his name was Cantrell. Received his Georgia rap sheet, which showed that his name was Antoine Cantrell.
Now, let me kind of back up a little bit. When you were made aware that this person was, at least there was some connection from Mr. Mouton to San Francisco generally, is that right?
Well, sure. As a district attorney, I was interested in trying to figure out how someone who committed these types of acts here in the city of San Francisco could just be granted leniency. And so that was interesting to me. As a district attorney in San Francisco, I knew that Mr. Mouton had had a plethora of contacts with members from the San Francisco Police Department during the time that he was supposedly in Las Vegas here having these conversations with Mr. Dow. Knowing that to be false, I continued my investigation.
Now, let me tell you why Mouton is spelling his name fucked up. Because the nigga just started using that name. And as his father testified to, the nigga's lethargic and partially retarded. He can't spell his motherfucking father's last name. He don't know his name to be Mouton. He doesn't know. So he's mixing it up. He's not doing it deliberately. He's doing it because he does not know that's a new name that he's been using. He can spell Cantrell like a motherfucker. He can spell it backwards. So all of that is a you know, when you just listen to what Lateef is saying though. They got this nigga up here testifying that he knew me from Fillmore. He's from Hunters Point. They let him do that. They made it seem like he grew up around me and that he talked to me all these years and that when he saw me, I started to talk to him and brag to him because it doesn't make sense if you don't try to make it look like we've been knowing each other and been acquainted. But his father just testified that his son is from Hunters Point. So what I'm telling you, they let perjured testimony take place. They knew that he was perjuring himself. So that right there is enough to dismiss these charges and let me go. Because if he lied about that, he lied about everything. Or at the very least, you should have overturned it. Because, again, Mooney v. Houlihan, which derives from Brady, talked about he put in extra paperwork in, and he proved that the prosecutor knowingly put perjured testimony on the stand. So you telling me the FBI, the motherfucking gang task force, and all these agencies, the United States district attorney and the prosecutor from Clark County don't know that he is from Hunters Point. They don't have his address. They don't have his juvenile records and all of the everywhere where he went to school, elementary, high school. You telling me they don't got all of this? Yeah, right. Okay.
So I guess my question, though, too, is that, again, you're a California lawyer. This case happened in Las Vegas. If you can just describe also, did you have any concerns that this individual, who I'll call Mr. Mouton, was possibly could create Brady issues or other issues in cases that you were working on?
Sure. Given the quality or lack thereof of Mr. Mouton's or Mr. Cantrell's testimony at trial, and knowing that by doing my investigation he was a federal informant at the time that he testified during Mr. Dow's trial, I had some concerns as to whether the San Francisco Police Department and the San Francisco District Attorney's Office had used Mr. Cantrell's testimony in cases that were tried in the city and county of San Francisco. So it was a lot of things I was thinking about.
Lateef, it came out that he's a paid informant. His father was about to elaborate on that. They stopped him, talking about it's hearsay. When it's not hearsay, because he directly said it to his father. But he can testify to what the prosecutor told him to say about me. And then she wants to, allow this pillow talk to take place. Because I can assure you, if there's any objections about it, which there was none, because I had Tony Scrow, who, tapped himself out and allowed Jonathan Powell to represent me, and the Patty Scrow and Lewis law firm was in cahoots with the prosecutor's office. This is why David Rogers right now is partners with Tony Scrow. Yeah, a prosecutor that ran the whole he was where Steve Wilson is right now. But all of a sudden, he's partners with Tony Scrow. Tony Scrow was my attorney. They took my money and did not show. Now, with all that said, let's get back to what I'm saying with Mouton. It's coming out that he's a paid informant. The man works in the prosecuting office. He can get everything that he testified to, it has to be the truth. He has to back it up with points, facts, and authority. He cannot just sit on the stand and be a liar. Because trust me, if he lie about anything, that fat bigot bitch right there, that diabolical bigot cracker that's sitting right there, he gonna jump up and pounce all over that. But he can't attack that. He can't attack that. So go ahead, Wop.